The Belkan War is shrouded in mystery. But now, a decade after the peace accords, a portion of the records was finally released. I quickly got a hold of it. Wanting more details, I acquired information from unknown sources. There was a reason for my obsession. The roots of the war lie in the Belkan Federal Law Review that took place in 1988. Belka, suffering from economic strife, permitted its eastern territory to secede, and the Republic of Ustio was born. But Belka's economic troubles did not subside. Meanwhile, taking advantage of the situation, the world superpower Osea continued to flourish. Amidst the economic panic, an extreme right-wing party took power within Belka, aiming to restore strength and stability to the nation. And on March 25th, 1995, with the discovery of natural resources in Ustio, Belka began to invade its neighbors. It was the beginning of the Belkan War. Unprepared, each country fell quickly before the might of the legendary Belkan Air Force. In just a few days, they occupied all territories except for the mountain range. In response, the occupied Ustio government military placed all their hopes on a joint operation between Osea and the foreign mercenary forces. This, of course, can be found in any history book. But I noticed a strange similarity in the materials I gathered. There were several accounts about a mercenary, all followed by the code word, demon. But most of the information was incomplete. Still, I was intrigued. I decided to pursue the history of the Belkan War through this mercenary. I was certain I would find something there. Would it be the hidden truth behind the war, or just another battlefield legend? I wasn't able to meet the mercenary himself. Actually, it's questionable if he ever did exist. But thanks to some old friends in the military, I was able to track down several individuals who knew him. Soloing is one such man.
Hello everybody! Welcome back to TTBurger Game Reviews, and today I welcome you all to the final part of my Ace Combat series review. Last time I took a look at Ace Combat 5, The Unsung War, and gave it a 9 out of 10 due to issues I had with the voice acting and the difficulty being a little too high and such. Today I will be looking at the prequel to Ace Combat 5, The Unsung War, which is also the last Ace Combat game to be released on the PlayStation 2. And that game is Ace Combat 0, The Belkan War, by Bandai Namco, released in 2006 worldwide. Sadly though, this game did not receive the same love and care as the last two Ace Combat games. There are problems with it that prevent it from being like Ace Combat 4 Shattered Skies and Ace Combat 5 The Unsung War, and I will explain this as much as I can. But as usual, let's get started off with the story. And the story of Ace Combat 0 The Belkan War takes place 15 years before Ace Combat 5 The Unsung War. The story stars Golem 1, aka Cypher, the flight leader of the 66th Air Force Unit, and his partner Larry Fook, aka Solo Wing Pixie. You know the war that Ace Combat 5 The Unsung War mentioned? Well, in this game, you learn more about the war, which was between Belka and the Allied forces, a military coalition compromising the Osean Federation, the Union of Uktabanian Republics, the Kingdom of Seven, and the Republic of Ustio. And there's a lot more to the story, so I don't want to spoil it. This time the story is told through a swale documentary style, with live edits that are presented as interviews by Brett Thompson, as he interviews several Belkan and Allied pilots 10 years after the war in order to discover Cypher's identity. And for me, the story felt kinda disappointing for me. It felt like it was rushed out the door, and not a lot of care and effort went into it. I mean, if you look at Ace Combat 5 The Unsung War storyline, you feel a connection with the main characters, and they have personalities and such. Here, these characters have no emotions to them whatsoever. They're just being interviewed and you don't really feel a connection between these characters. But if you guys like the story, hey, that's fine with me. I respect your opinions. Graphically, Ace Combat Steel the Belkan War is on par with Ace Combat 5 the Unsung War. The aircraft models are the best part and still look very detailed and very colorful. The backgrounds also look nice with great lighting effects and weather effects as well. The cutscenes, like I mentioned earlier, are live action for the most part, and I know a lot of people didn't like that Bandai Namco chose this route with the cutscenes, but for me, I like that they did this. The only problem I have with the cutscenes is that you can clearly tell that the actors are lip-syncing to other actors' voices and such, due to the voices and lip-syncing being a split-second delayed. And also, once again, the frame rate is very smooth. I know I have said the same thing about the graphics in the previous parts, but if you played these games, you would know what I mean and would agree with me for the most part. Sound-wise though, it's kind of a hit or miss, depending on who you are. The music is still great, it consists of orchestral tunes that Ace Combat 4 Shattered Skies and Ace Combat 5 the Unsung War had. The voice acting though is the worst part. This time we only get the English voice option, so I'm not sure how the Japanese voice acting turned out this time. And not only that, most of the characters speak in deep monotone voices, and most actors try way too hard to sound serious about talking about the Belkan War, and they end up sounding bored. Hell, the only voice actor that's fully into the story is Yuri Lowenthal, who portrays Larry Fulk, aka Soloing Pixie.
I had a bad feeling while I was flying towards the round table. Why were they having problems down in 2 mercenaries? I figured it was just temporary chaos and it'd be over by the time I got there. Pilots of the Belkan Air Force are true professionals, but when I saw the situation, I couldn't believe my eyes. I thought maybe my IFF was malfunctioning. There were still 2 enemies on the radar. Everyone else in my squadron had the same reaction. This is really happening. Every now and then, guys like that appear on a battlefield. Someone special, you know? I squinted my eyes and confirmed the situation. Checked the terrain, air currents, his plane, his maneuvers, and his remaining ammo. I figured I could do it. I knew what I was getting into, but he still outmaneuvered me beyond my expectation.
Every time I flew with him, his skill stood out. He was unstoppable. He would ascertain the situation in an instant and change the tide of battle. He was born for combat. It was no wonder they called him a demon lord. That said, it was hell trying to keep up with him. Before long, everyone had taken notice of him. More and more would show up to watch him go off on sortie. Mercenaries or maintenance crew, it didn't matter. People wanted to burn his image to their memories. Hell, they weren't the only ones.
Gameplay in Ace Combat Steel the Belkan War is decent at best, but due to some complaints I have with it, it's nowhere near as good as Ace Combat 4 Shattered Skies and Ace Combat 5 the Unsung War. The controls are the same as they were in Ace Combat 5 the Unsung War, and still work really well, and those of you who liked Ace Combat 5 the Unsung War will feel right at home here with the controls. This game also features almost all of the trademark aircraft from previous Ace Combat games, and even includes tons of new ones as well, and they include tons of new secondary weapons as well with each aircraft. But now, I must talk about the negative parts with the gameplay. First off, this game is way too easy for the most part, and doesn't get challenging until the last few levels. I know in my Ace Combat 5 the Unsung War review, I complained about the difficulty being too high and such. But here in Ace Combat 0 the Belkan War, the game isn't challenging enough, and at time it can be a snooze fest. Not only that, there are less missions here this time around. There are only 18 missions in this game, and a lot of them aren't that long, and you can pretty much beat this whole game in 2 or 3 hours or so. My main complaint about this game is that it doesn't do anything different from Ace Combat 4 Shattered Skies and Ace Combat 5 the Unsung War and such. It feels more like an expansion to Ace Combat 5 the Unsung War with a new coat of paint on it and such. It's like they couldn't fit this onto the Ace Combat 5 the Unsung War's game disc, so they just released it as a standalone game for full price at the time. Hell, this game isn't that cheap nowadays to find on Amazon in very good condition either. It ranges from $20 to $30. Sadly, that's pretty much all I can say about Ace Combat Steel the Belkan War. It's disappointing to see how this game turned out, especially after the success of Ace Combat 4 Shattered Skies and Ace Combat 5 the Unsung War. I can only recommend this game to hardcore Ace Combat fans and fans of light combat games and such. I mean, if you guys like this game, I respect your opinions, but me, this game was disappointing for me. Now it's time for my final rating on the game. Ace Combat Steel the Belkan War isn't the worst Ace Combat game ever, but still not the greatest entry in the series either due to the short length of the campaign, the bored voice acting, and the fact that it feels more like an expansion than an actual game. I will only be giving Ace Combat Steel the Belkan War a 6 out of 10. And we did it, everybody! We did it! We finished the Ace Combat series. I know there are other games I didn't mention, such as the portable games like Ace Combat X Skies of Deception and Ace Combat Joint Assault, but I only mainly wanted to focus on the main games in the series and such. I do know that I'm leaving out other Ace Combat games such as Ace Combat 6 Spies Liberation and Ace Combat Assault Horizon, and I have played them, and to be honest, I thought they sucked ass. Ace Combat 6 Spies Liberation did have decent graphics and such, but the storyline was awful. Instead of a storyline focusing on like a war and such, here we get a story with worried characters like a blonde woman worried about her husband in war, and she's one of the characters telling the story, and it feels more like a soap opera instead of a war storyline, and the voice acting sounded very whiny, and the lip syncing was awful, like synced up with the Japanese voice acting, and you didn't get the Japanese voice acting this time around either. So I kind of wanted to see what it was like. And also there were less aircrafts and missions this time around as well. And my biggest complaint about the game though is that it was only released on the Xbox 360. I mean, seriously, Bandai Namco, how could you do this to us Sony fans? Because every Ace Combat game before this was on a Sony console, aside from Ace Combat Advance, which was on the Game Boy Advance. And Ace Combat Assault Horizon, holy cow, what happened here? This game had nothing to do with Ace Combat. It felt more like Call of Duty with airplanes, thanks to Dogfight mode that takes the challenge and fun factor out of the game, and they had the nerve to put turret sections in a helicopter in an Ace Combat game. Like seriously, who thought this was a good idea and to alienate their fans like this? And the story's pretty much non-existent and sucks. And there is more to this game, but find out for yourself and see. And you'll see how bad this game is and how bad this hurt the Ace Combat series badly. Hopefully Ace Combat 7 Skies Unknown will stay true to its word and go back to its roots of Ace Combat 4 Shattered Skies and such, but we will have to see. And Namco, please do fix this. Do not go to the route of Ace Combat Assault Horizon, because you will lose more fans who enjoy these games, but we'll see what happens when it comes out. That's pretty much all I gotta say. This is Tony, aka TTBurger88. Thank you all for watching my Ace Combat series review, and stay tuned for more videos on this channel, and I hope you all peace out and have a great day, everybody.